Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 47 of Blacklight Settlers. So yesterday was vote day, and here are the new goals. So added to the short-term goals, search for ancient dangers and zero-day assassin. And for long-term goals, I got to remove one long-term goal, and I actually removed the newest added long-term goal of a prison colony. To justify why I removed the prison colony, I think it would take a lot of work to set up a prison colony for almost no value added to the community. All right, so let's get going. The short-term goals that I have, let's actually put that back up for a second. I feel like our slightly longer-term goals, searching for ancient dangers, shouldn't be that hard, but recruiting the people in them can be a little tough. And then having zero-day assassinate a leader is also not that easy. What that could mean is to maybe clear out a colony of pirates or something like that. I might interpret it that way. So last we left off, we had just recruited the dude with a name I can't even pronounce. Ozalbo. That's not that bad. It just looks weird. And in numbers, let's go ahead and make sure that everyone is set up properly. So, Ozalbo here. Where are you, Ozalbo? Yeah, actually, we did set him up. He's just a little naked at the moment. Ozalbo, given that his mining is a little bit better than his construction, let's go and make him more of a miner, less of a constructor. But I think someone had that as a tip. Yes. No, maybe not. Tiberius T suggested that I crank out some NPM. And with the NPM, I'll store it for the purpose of making sure that during a power shortage, no one eats raw. So that's a good idea. I'll get that done at some point in this episode. And then First Ward mentioned switching the hoppers to meat only because I have a lot of meat and not a lot of vegetables. So I just did that. So I've gone over at least the tips that I thought worth sharing. Depends is here with Endelos. Endelos, maybe I'll have you rest until you're healed. You're ravenously hungry, I think literally holding an NPM meal. Oh, look at you, bashing my fermenting barrels. I have had a lot of bad moods. Someone in comments, I forget who it was because, you know, there was a lot of comments, but someone in comments actually mentioned that they imagine it's actually really unpleasant to play this, given how many horribly bad moods I have to attend to constantly. A constant onslaught of tantrums and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a little annoying. If I'm to be perfectly honest, it is indeed a little annoying. But it is the nature of the game. So I just have to adjust and get used to it, because you all voted for it. Really? You're bashing something together? Okay, bash the walls, that's fine. Just don't bash something more important, ideally. So it depends. Do you have any hidden skills I don't know about? You're a grower, you do medicine, you don't do drugs. Wildlife. There's just a grizzly bear here. So Miss Depends, I guess you'll hunt it. And then run away screaming when it chases you. I did, however, in the long-term goals, I crossed Wolfmore Bionic. He has two Bionics in him. I think the next Bionics are probably going to go to Poppy, because that's a long-term goal of making her more Bionic. She is obviously lacking an arm and a leg. So we'll have a leg out soon, and then we'll have an arm out. Trekintosh, I'm going to have you take over construction so it's slightly better quality. No, one thing I did mention is anyone that has really bad moods constantly can go on more recreation than everyone else. And that might be something I initiate soon. Also looks like we need... Let's unhide this. We need more meat storage. We are hunting way faster than we're using up the food. So let's adjust. Yes, there's a lot more mountain that I can store stuff in. I'm just not ready to take on that level of a construction project. I finished power armor. Fire foam poppers, probably a wise next choice, given the pyros that we have. Ooh, masterwork pants. I hope that the bashing of everything brings about some catharsis, because it is really annoying to listen to all that bashing. As for the extremely impressive, let's see if we can't kick this up even more. I don't usually tend to try for wondrously impressive, but that might be something worth attempting towards, given that they're all sharing the same space. Ben's here is having a lot of trouble. Oh, no, she's hit it now. Really? You're still at it? I thought you'd be done by now. I do have the auto repair things that break enabled, so if we do have some breakages, like it sounds like we're having, we get to replace it automatically, which is nice. Or is this even enough meat? I'm gonna go ahead and forbid the muffalo. Really? At it again? Aren't you in the hospital for this social fight? Like literally this is how the social fight went. The trouble is, and here's the problem is, that people with bloodlust tend to fight. They fight at an increased rate of 4 times. And then, given that they really, really don't like each other, they're going to fight some more. And Juret is going to stand over her unconscious body. Wow, she actually never landed a hit. And she was down. Well, you know, it happens. Horn, why are you consuming muffalo meat? Why would you do that to yourself? I'm gonna go ahead and unhide most of everything in here, because it's hard to manage it when it's hidden. Okay, getting a lot repaired. We're halfway through the winter, so the coldest season that we'll experience. Yes, that indeed is what winter is. What I think I might do is... Oh, we never fixed that. Is put a recreation hold on certain pawns that are having trouble. So, Lenka, Moro... Where are you, Moro? Poppy Vaughn, Poppy... Poppy, I can feed some meat. Cole, Chris, Ozalbo, Nano. Okay. So. I'll let time roll while I do this. Chris. Oh, but Chris is a night owl. So we'll have to fix that. Cole. Dano, also a night owl. And then Ozalbo. Alright. That should help a little bit. What kind of recreation types do we have? We have, if we check needs, we've got solitary, social, dex, TV watching, chemical consumption, cerebral, and social. Okay, that's quite a bit. They shouldn't be so fussy. So here's someone doing solitary, for instance. If we check their needs, some of it is just because they've been insulted, or... Yeah, she's on major break. If we check the other ones that are sort of down, we can sort of get a feed on what's the bonded animal. Well, that's actually about to expire. Unsightly? Why is it unsightly? Where are you? Well, keep training... So I'm always curious what I'm doing wrong. Some things like sharing a bed, that was voted on. So yes, you know, that's making it harder. But that was what you all chose. And who am I to say that your choices are wrong? Alright, speeding up time a little bit. Innocent prisoner died is what put him over. Trapped underground, that's probably his own fault. Chris, Morrow, Dano. Just go to sleep, Dano. Oh, he was traveling between zones, I think, which caused him to have that reaction. Okay, so we obviously have a lot of meat here. One thing I could do is unsuspend the lavish meals, and I think right now we have no one on lavish. Yep. No one's on lavish. So that means that if anyone's having a particularly bad mood, we will feed them lavish meals, and that should help. Where are you bringing this meat from? Everyone's hauling in meat, but I don't know from where, which has me a little concerned. Where are you getting this mystery meat? And hopefully we get some more haulers for steel. We do have 1,000 steel stockpiled now. Oh, there we go. The mineral scanner has worked. So, that's not super close, but that's within a reasonable distance, I guess. Alright, Panther. I guess I failed you as well. We're almost done with the smoke leaf production, which is cool. We have a bunch of joints as a result. Depends. Did you ever end up killing that bear? You musta. Yep, there it is. At this rate, I'm not exactly sure that he needs to really butcher anything, because we have so many that are already butchered, but really? You're going to haul 12? That's because I don't have any storage for it, isn't it? Yes. Okay, well the good news is I'm almost through all of my smoke leaf. Which means I can expand my metal storage considerably. And go back to CC. And we'll haul a lot more metals that way. Alright, extremely impressive. To get up to Wondrously is a little daunting. It's going to require either a lot more statues or a lot nicer furniture. That's another thing I could do, given that I have a lot of wood, is to start working on higher quality furniture. It's really not that bad of an idea. So what I'll do is Trekintosh will crank these bad boys out. At this point, Trekintosh might be even a better constructor. 16 from Sergio's 16. Yeah, so he's tied, but he's more reliable and works faster. And therefore, I consider him to be better at it. Doesn't necessarily mean... Oh, no, stop. Doesn't necessarily mean everything he's going to make is going to be wonderful, but... We got one target bed out of that group. The difference between good and excellent is actually pretty considerable. Which is why I would min-max and spend the effort to try to get better beds. There's another excellent one. I'll try for 4 for now. I know there's a mod that does this, but you all know my stance on mods. I avoid mods unless it's absolutely necessary. And it tends not to be absolutely necessary. There's almost no situations where I need to mod. Pretty much everything that you need to do in RimWorld you can do unmodded. It just takes a little bit more effort, like caravanning, for instance. And it's not like you need to caravan ever anyway. Just sort of a nice thing to do at times. Okay, these beds are getting worse, not better. Inspired surgery, good for you. And area revealed. I was curious, what is in there? And that's nothing. Why would it ever be anything? Leth, you are about to break. This community has a way of pissing people off, I really guess. I mean, that's the trouble when you have... If I go to my history tab, this is the easiest way to see how many pawns I've got. Or numbers tab, rather. So 35 total. It's kind of a lot. It is... I'm not going to say unmanageable, but it is a lot of pawns. Way more than I ever really have. Okay, so all 4 beds done. That's awesome. Thank you, Trek. And then some of these beds here, I'll first look for normal ones and destroy them, and then slowly we'll increase the quality of everyone's bed. So that's 2 normal ones, 3 normal ones, 4 normal ones. All right. And all these little things should help out the mood eventually. And yeah, I did kick them out of their bed, and I'm disturbing their sleep. Disturbing the sleep, a lot of people have suggested that I change the barracks around. No, I'm not going to change the barracks. That was a voted goal, to get a barracks up for these people. But the disturbed sleep is actually a really small debuff. It really does not matter very much. The pawns don't care all that much about it. Oh, good. I just got another normal one. Or an excellent one. Means I can get rid of a lower quality one. And at least that's better than the quality that we had been doing. So let's put that in. Some cargo pods. Is this our hunting camp? Yep. These guys are sort of hanging out. There's not much to do here because we're just about out of wildlife. In fact, I'll clear the wildlife just for the hell of it. This doesn't really have a place to be yet. We're really not making any of this lavish. It's hard to believe that we have literally no lavish yet. That is really not where I wanted you to sleep. Alright, so some of the goals that I have. Oh, what was that? Fire foam's done. Right as I tab out for the goals. If I can start cascading the pawns that are more useless, that frees me up considerably. Camisea is going to have a slept in the cold debuff. No fault of my own. She decided to plop herself there. And more precious minerals found. Okay, let's go ahead and... Actually, let's keep this going, because we might actually find some precious minerals somewhere nicer than way out there. So, the find a mining colony, I definitely can check off. That's the cool bit, for sure. Like, I've done that. Where's the rest of this smoke leaf coming from? Oh, down here. Yeah, okay. I thought I was just basically done with that backlog. Now, the plasteel, as you can see, is the determining factor of the fact that we're not getting Embonics done. So, I don't know if there's any mineable plasteel here. There's definitely some more components. Let me do a quick scan check. Finding plasteel on the surface is pretty rare, however. Sometimes you can find it, but you have to get pretty lucky. I did have jade, though. So I have some more components here, and some silver. And some jade. And there's some sort of hidden something in there. Oh, they're in there. Okay, well that's... Oh, here's more components. That about sums up what I've got for here. Hopefully we can find another mining colony that isn't so far. That's really the limiting factor, is the distance that I have to travel. I might not even need to do anything about this Arctic wolf. It's just gonna kill itself. Yep, that's hilarious. Man, you are in a bad mood. Not much I can do about that. So we're actually done with the clothing? Well, except for the toques. I'm going to actually change over to dusters at this point. So what was the, what is this? 60 and up, normal and up? Oh, you know what? We have a bunch of this wool here. So these toques can be made out of the wool. What are we making first? Oh, the dusters. Yeah. We'll fix that in just a second. Not too many prisoners in this prison now. What I can do is destroy some of the crappier prison beds in lieu of getting the prisoners into nicer ones. Nothing like some more social fighting. Everyone keep their... Yep. Actually, surprisingly enough, DQ got punched but not bit by the cannibal. Gotta love social fighters that don't use the full weapons at their disposal. Alright, then it also occurs to me that this duster queue has to be dropped. Someone will move that other duster. Ooh, a masterwork. And this will keep people warmer. Megasloth wool is about as warm as you can get. And it is below freezing out, so that always is nice and helpful. Finally, some lavish meals. Thank goodness. This should allow for some mood stabilization. So anyone that is in a particularly bad mood... Ooh, there was some flirting there. Oh, well, with someone who's like... Penguin... No, Lenka's single, right? Who's with Vex? I mean, Velik. Oh, they broke up? I'm so confused. No, Lenka... Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, definitely hauling some more stuff in. That's awesome. I'm just about out of stuff to mine here, though. There's almost nothing left to do traditional mining on. Hence the need for the mining colony, so I appreciate the fact that you all voted for that. I'm just poking around. Oh, that's a cute little snowman all the way out there. This whole ancient danger fully removed from the map, so it's like it was never there. Pulled up the floors and everything. little cabin fever. Yeah, moods are slowly stabilizing. I guess not quite as fast as I would want, but it's not terrible. We just, at this point, really need plasteel. I could probably get plasteel the good old-fashioned way. Let's get this thing back on and set up... I'm going to set up a few drills, and we'll deep drill for it. So I'm removing those spots because we can just roll the rest of the smoke leaf joints here. There's no need to bring, carry this stuff so far. And it's possible we don't even have to go that far for plasteel. It might be in our own backyard. I do have to be cognizant of my power consumption because with the drills on and the ground penetrating radar, I am not producing a lot of power. What are you? This can... Let's unsuspend. Curious what I can turn off at the moment. There's not a lot that I can turn off. I'm actually curious about how this is working out. So let's clear some snow here. Just so that I can see how this is all playing out. Guess I really ought to build a roof here. Okay, so instead of mining this, which is obviously just slate chunks, I built these to lay them out where there might be some precious stuff. So, Jarrett. Let's figure out what this is. Plasteel. Ah, wonderful. Nothing like getting an infestation right in our research room, but hey, you know, it's a risk I'm going to take. Penguin, you're a constructor. Let's have you move this drill. So this plasteel will allow for some bionics, which will be great. The Bloodlust Psycho is having a mental break. Surprised? Not really. I'm always curious if I can find like crazy underground caverns, but I almost never do. And I think this is the last joint. Cool. Very nice. So I am producing more power than I'm consuming. But not quite more... Not more than I'd like. So I don't think there's a way to get 2 of these here. But I will lay out 1. I could... Okay. That's clumped together closer than I'd normally like, but that will add a little bit to the power. And let's check roofing. Okay, so we'll just have to remove a little bit of roof. Not a big deal. And this should help out, filling up our batteries, because the batteries have been low for a long time. I think most of the really bad moods happen when pawns are sent to haul really long distances. And they come all the way out here, and then they get really pissed for being out here. Just the way it is. Alright, what? Oh, I just don't have any wind. I was like, what's blocking that? But, okay, so now we're actually generating a pretty decent amount of power. More over our requirements, which should allow for the allow for the batteries to fill back up, because we have backup batteries that are tied to the grid that aren't doing anything. How are you guys doing? You have been hunting everything, and I'm just going to keep doing that. Endelos, do either of you mine? Yeah, Endelos mines, so when there's nothing to hunt, he would mine. I do need to send a miner there. And then other people have also suggested that I tame some muffalo to do some hauling. And that's a really good point. I'm not going to do that until my Boomlet Ranch is a little bit more substantial. As the Boomlet Ranch was a decided, voted goal. At this point, I think I have a pretty good Boomlet Ranch going on. But obviously I'm going to add more to it so that I don't have to burn trees. I just have to milk boomalopes. There's still a lot of bad moods. If we check them, a lot of them are like, people died or whatever. Here, I'll feed you a nice meal. Yeah, it's really, what I think what it comes down to is, it is because long distance hauling causes them to become very hungry because the thick snow slows them down. So anyone that goes on these long distance hauls, especially if they are one-footed, because we have a lot of ponds that are peg-legged or something like that, they get quite pissy quite quickly. Ooh, what are we making here? Oh, we're making something. We're making an advanced component. Boring. Velik. I'm only gonna, let's only make up to 4. Most bionics require 4. I'd rather have them fabricate something more interesting than that. Like a component. Yay. We're still earning up for the plasteel, I guess. Oof. That's not good. See, this is what I'm talking about. Moving really, really, really slow out here in the deep snow gets people quite agitated. Like Trekintosh, who's usually actually pretty level-headed. But he got super tired and super hungry, and gonna have him. I'm actually gonna have him stand around briefly in a beautiful environment so that his mood can improve before he goes to sleep. Once a pawn is asleep, their mood doesn't change. It's stuck. So I just want him to get out of the whole, like, going to shoot everyone phase. Don't really want someone in power armor and a minigun to go on a murderous rampage. That would be bad. So when the sun goes down, it looks like our power generation is less than nominal. But at least when the sun's up, the batteries fill up, which is great. So I think I'm just about out of time for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. This episode didn't get much done. I'm trying to sort of get to a point where the pawns are more manageable, but I think the ideal solution would be to throw them into a casket as part of the ship. So hopefully some of the most problematic, like Sheba, who keeps getting in fights and having berserks and stuff like that, can get thrown into a casket. So if you have any questions for me, feedback of any type, drop me a line, and I do hope that you tune in next time. Adios, everybody.